What is up, it's your boy A here, also known as Toon Main, and today, right here on ARcast, we're just gonna talk about something, and also happy 4th of July as well. It's Independence Day over here in America, so make sure you hit the like button, also subscribe to the channel, helps the channel out, make sure you click the bell for notification. And today, we're actually gonna talk about some big trades that's going on both in the NFL and the NBA. Both of them could be blockbuster and some other stuff, mainly with the NBA's free agency that's also going on. There's a lot going on today, and also yesterday, and some other stuff. Like, before we're actually gonna dive into the Jalen Ramsey trade, I am definitely wasn't sure about that. You know, things might get a little dicey, but don't worry. It will be a lot dicier than something like, loading up the team, because we're still in the off seasons for both leagues actually. No matter what the situation is, there's gonna be like a something. Oh yeah, so basically, right now I am talking about, so right now I am gonna talk about the Jalen Ramsey trade that's going on, and I don't know why I put that right there. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they traded for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith with the Miami Dolphins. So the Steelers, they get Jalen Ramsey as well as Jonnu Smith and 2027 7th round pick. And the Miami Dolphins, they get Minkah Fitzpatrick and 2027 5th round pick. The thing here with the Pittsburgh Steelers is the fact that they try to bolster something that's going on in the offseason with Omar Khan getting some of these key free agency that they wanted to do. Try to contend for the future, but like at the same time, they're going to be around like this mediocrity of a 9-8 season record again. So, with this grading that I'm going to be doing with between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins with the Jalen Ramsey trade, is the fact that the Steelers are definitely going to be like a B minus with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith during their off season, because the Steelers off season is a B minus. Because here's the Steelers off season. Why it's a B minus is because they got Aaron Rodgers, they got DK Metcalf, and now they get Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. So this is how they're actually be doing. So yeah, it's a B minus. Then for the Dolphins, I'll definitely see a C with this trade because like they're trying to contend some. I don't know, trying to build something, even though they have something, but I don't know. They're just pure mediocrity. Plus, something about Tyreek Hill. Is he going to be playing this season? I don't know. Because the only thing left with Miami is just Tua. So overall, I'll give this the leverage on the Steelers for that thingy, but you know, I also had to clean up my computer. Had dust on the keyboard. That's why I'm actually cleaning. Overall, with this trade between the Steelers and the Dolphins, I'm definitely saying the Steelers B minus and the Dolphins a C. I just don't know how this trade's gonna be working for both teams in the near future. Because you know the Steelers are also an old team. Because you know the oldest team with a lot of players over 30, and their median age is basically 32.5. So that's the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I don't know. Because we're gonna be looking at some of the other trades that's gonna be going on. I will also have to be putting out the other stuff. So I'm just looking at some free agency of day one of the NBA. As there are gonna be some key pieces that's gonna be moving on in the NBA landscape. And you might like it. You might like it because the next one is gonna be super interesting. Mhm. Oh yeah, so sorry about all the quietness and having to scratch my damn head again. Oh my. Well, so sorry about all the quietness. Now let's gonna go on to some NBA free agency trades that's going on right now. So first of all, we got the Portland Trail Blazers with Drew Holiday for, you know, First of all, we're gonna talk about the Portland Trail Blazers. With Drew Holiday going to Portland for Anthony Simmons, who is gonna go to the Boston Celtics. So the Celtics, they get Anthony Simmons as well as 2 future second round picks, and the Trailblazers get Drew Holiday. So you know. So the Celtics are gonna lose their first piece right here with the trade with Portland. We played 2 seasons, helped them to get their 18th championship ring, even though Jason Tatum, right before Jason Tatum tore his Achilles that doomed their second round exit to New York last spring. So now that the reason why they're doing it is because the Celtics need to shred up from their salary cap because they're over the cap with the tax apron. That's the Celtics, so they have to shred down with that because he's a cap casualty. And also, yes, it's projected $40 million in tax saving for next season, and $18 million over the second apron. So Simmons is extension eligible for the Boston Celtics. Overall, the Boston Celtics is basically over $18 million on the second apron, and they are projected for $40 million in tax saving for this NBA season, and Simmons is eligible for his extension, Boston Celtics. And another news is that we're going to talk about is from the Boston Celtics. So another one from the Boston Celtics is this. Here's another trade that the Boston Celtics did this offseason. Is Kristaps Porzingis going to the Atlanta Hawks? And in return, they get George Niang as well as it's a 3-way trade with the Brooklyn Nets. So the Atlanta Hawks, they get Kristaps Porzingis and a future second round pick. The Brooklyn Nets get Terrence Mann and Drake Powell, which is the 22nd overall pick in this year's draft. And the Boston Celtics, they get George Niang with second round picks. The reason why they're doing this is because the Celtics are over the cap. They're over $18 million over the cap. Same thing what I said about Drew Holiday. Another key piece from their championship run from before Jason Tatum tore his Achilles last spring. The third trade that went on to the NBA off-season free agency is the fact that the Denver Nuggets are trading Michael Porter Jr. for an unprotected first round pick in 2032 just to get Cameron Johnson from the Brooklyn Nets. So the Nets, they get Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected first round pick from the Denver Nuggets in 2032. And the Denver Nuggets get Cam Johnson. I don't know how that's going to be working because Michael Porter Jr., he was a key contributor there during the 2023 NBA Finals championship run for the Denver Nuggets. So overall, that's basically it. Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah. Okay, so other than that, we are definitely going to be looking at whatchamacallit, some other stuff from the free agency that's going on in the NBA that happened on day one. Even though free agency should start on July 6th because of the cap casualties. I mean, the cap might be going up by another 13 million. I don't know. Now let's go to all the other stuff that's actually going to be doing for free agency. So I might as well just have to, deactivate this. Bring this up. Okay, so. Oh yeah, I need a full screen that. Go right here. Activate myself. And voila! Boom! So basically, we're gonna go look at the other free agency trackers that's gonna be going on in this league. So Atlanta Hawks, the resigning, they did not resign anyone yet. They added Nikhil Alexander Walker for a 4-year with a sign-in trade. Then they got Luke Kennard with a 1-year deal. And I already explained about Kristaps Porzingis. Okay, so Clint Capella, he's going back. He's leaving the Hawks. Karis LeVert, Larry Nance Jr., George Niang, who I already talked about him, as well as Terrence Mann. I already talked about that during the Kristaps Porzingis trade. Now we go to the Boston Celtics. We already talked about George Niang, which is the Kristaps Porzingis trade. Luka Garza, who is going to be joining them for 2 years. Josh Minott, who is going to be joining them for 2-year deal. And we had talked about Anthony Simmons, which is from the Jrue Holiday trade. We already talked about Jrue Holiday. Luke Cornett, he's already leaving that one. Brooklyn Nets, De'Aaron Sharp returning, 2-year deal. Zaire Williams is also returning for a 2-year deal. Terrence Mann, we already talked about that during the Porzingis trade. Michael Porter Jr., we already talked about that with the Nuggets. And it's the same thing with that. D'Angelo Russell, he's going to join Dallas, which we're going to talk about soon. Tyrone Watford, he's going to be joining Philly. Charlotte Hornets, we're talking about Trey Mann, he's going to re-sign with them for a 3-year deal. And the addition, they got Pat Connaughton, which is via trade with Milwaukee. Because, it's a trade for Nurkic. That's the Nurkic trade. Spencer Dinwiddie, he signed for 1 year. Mason Plumlee for 1 year. And Colin Sexton, he joined via trade with Utah. Oh, no. Oh, no. The Pat Connaughton was the Phoenix Suns, the Mark Williams trade. Then Yusuf Nurkic was the trade with the Jazz. Chicago Bulls, they got Trey Jones returning for 3 years. Isaac Okoro, who got traded for Lonzo Ball. Then, speaking of Lonzo Ball, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sam Marcel, he's returning for another 4 years. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, they traded for Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro. Larry Nance Jr. is joining them with a deal. And Ty Jerome, he's going to Memphis. Then Dallas, they got Dante Exum, who's returning for 1 year. Kyrie Irving is expecting to agree to return for a 3-year extension. The addition from the Mavericks is D'Angelo Russell, and the departure is Spencer Dinwiddie to Charlotte. Denver Nuggets, no re-signing. The addition is Bruce Brown, 1-year deal. Cam Johnson, which got traded from the Brooklyn Nets. Tim Hardaway Jr. for 1 deal. And Jonas Valanciunas, he's also going to be traded for Darius Sarge. And the departure is Michael Porter Jr. and Darius Sarge by trading. Detroit Pistons, they re-signed Paul Reed for another 2 years. Then they added Karis LeVert from Atlanta. Then Duncan Robinson from Miami for 3 years via sign and trade. So the departure is Tim Hardaway Jr. going to Denver, and Dennis Schroeder, who's going to Sacramento. The Warriors, nothing except Kevon Looney going to New Orleans. Houston Rockets, Steven Adams is agreeing for a 3-year extension. Aaron Holiday signing with a new deal. Jeff Green with a new deal. Jabari Smith Jr. for a 5-year extension. Jason Tate is signing for a new deal. And Van Fleet is going to be here for another 2 years. The addition is Clint Capella from the Atlanta Hawks for a 3-year deal. Then the Kevin Durant trade that we already knew that one is going to be happening from the Phoenix Suns. And Dorian Finney-Smith Jr. for a 4-year deal from the Lakers. And a key departure from the Houston Rockets, Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green from the Kevin Durant trade. And Jock Landale, who got waived. Pacers, same thing with the Warriors. No re-signing, no addition. The only departure they have is Miles Turner going to Milwaukee. The Clippers, they re-signed Nick Batum for another 2-year deal. James Harden might be agreeing for a 2-year extension. The addition is Brook Lopez for 2 years. And the departure is Eubanks, who's officially got waived. Now with my team, Jackson Hayes for another year, re-signing. Addition to add DeAndre Ayton for 2 years, Jake LaRiva for 2 years, and the only departure that we have is Ryan Finney-Smith Jr., who is going to the Houston Rockets. Memphis Grizzlies starting their free agency. Santi Aldama returning for 3 years. Jaren Jackson Jr. expected to agree with a 5-year extension, and Cam Spencer returning for another two years. The addition is most likely from the Desmond Bain trade with Orlando. Cole Anthony and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Ty Jeremy with a 3-year deal from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the departure is Desmond Bain, who goes to Orlando, and who got traded to Orlando. Then Luke Kennard, who is going to Atlanta. Miami, no re-signings, and the addition is Simone Potencio via trade with Detroit. Signing trade with Detroit. Then they got Damian Mitchell returning for another 2 years. And Duncan Robinson went to Detroit. Then Milwaukee, they get Kevin Porter Jr. for returning for another 2 years. Bobby Portis, he's agreeing for a 3-year extension. Teron Prince could agree for a 2-year deal. Jericho Sims returning for another 2 years. Gary Trent Jr. is returning for another 2 years. Then Milic, he's gonna be joining via the trade with the Hornets. Probably. Oh yeah, that Mark Williams trade. And Miles Turner from Indiana agreed for a 4-year deal. Then Gary Harris is agreed for a 2-year deal. Now Pat Connington departure to the Hornets from that Mark Williams trade. And Damian Lillard, he got waived, which unfortunately that sucks. And Brook Lopez is going to the Clippers. Minnesota, they got Joe Ingles for 1 year, Julius Randle returning for 3 years, Nas Reed is returning for 5. No addition, but key departure is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's going to Atlanta, Luka Garza, who's going to the Boston Celtics, and Josh Minott, he's going to the Boston Celtics. New Orleans, no re-signing, but they added Sadiq Bey, who's joining via trade with Washington. And Kevon Looney with a 2-year deal from the Warriors. Jordan Poole, he's also there from that trade with the Wizards. Then the key departure is Bruce Brown, who's now in the Nuggets. Then CJ McCollum, he got traded to Washington, as well as Kelly Olynyk, who got traded to Washington. Up next is the New York Knicks, no re-signing. The only addition is Jordan Clarkson to agree the deal. And Iyasu Seli agreed for a 2-year deal. OKC, the reigning NBA champion. OKC, there's only 3 re-signings with SGA for 4 years and AJ Mitchell's for 3 years. Then Jalen Williams agreed to a 3-year extension. Then Dylan Jones is the only departure. No addition. By the way. Up next, Orlando, they returned Mo Wagner for a 1-year deal. Then they added Desmond Bane from that trade. And Tyus Jones for a 1-year deal. A key departure is from the Desmond Bane trade. Cole Anthony and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to the Memphis Grizzlies. And Gary Harris is going to Milwaukee. Philadelphia 76ers, they re-signed Justin Edwards for a 3-year deal and Eric Gordon for the 1-year deal. The only addition that they had is Trendon Watford for a 2-year deal, and the departure is Gershon Yabusele, who is going to the New York Knicks. The Phoenix Suns, they re-signed Colin Gillespie for a 1-year deal, and the only addition that they added was most likely from the Kevin Durant trade, as well as the Mark Williams trade. So Dylan Brooks from the Kevin Durant trade, Jalen Green from the Kevin Durant trade, Nigel Harrell, Hayes Davis agreed for a 1-year deal, and of course the Mark Williams trade from the draft. Notable departure: Kevin Durant going to Houston from that trade. And Milicic, he's also gonna get departed from that Mark Williams trade. Mason Plumlee is going to the Hornets from that Mark Williams trade. And Tyrus Jones, he's gonna go to Orlando. Portland Trailblazers re-signing Garrett Temple for another 1-year deal. And the addition was the Jrue Holiday trade from the Boston Celtics, and the departure is from the Anthony Simmons from the Jrue Holiday trade, and DeAndre Ayton was from the buyout to the LA Lakers. Sacramento, no re-sign. The only addition was Dennis Schroeder, and of course that trade with Denver, Dario Sarge. And their key departure is Jake LaVia, who's going to the Lakers, and Jonas Valanciunas, who's going to go to the Denver Nuggets. San Antonio, no resigning yet. Luke Cornett, he's agreed for a 4-year deal in San Antonio. And the only departure is Sandro, and I cannot see this dude's last name, so scratch the last name. He's going to Toronto. Speaking of that guy with that terrible last name, I cannot say, his addition to Toronto, no key departure with the Raptors. And Jacob Pollitt, he's agreed for a 4-year extension. Now with the Utah Jazz, no resigning yet. They added in Yusuf Nurkic from the trade with the Charlotte Hornets. And speaking of that trade with the Charlotte Hornets, the key departure is Colin Sexton, who went to Charlotte. Johnny Zuzang, he got waived. Then Jordan Clarkson, departure from the buyout, is currently in New York. Last but not least is the Washington Wizards. No re-signing, but there's going to be a trade that's going to be going on. 2 trades, actually. First off, the CJ McCollum trade with the New Orleans Pelicans. He added in CJ McCollum as well as Kelly Olynyk. The other trade was with OKC, and that will be Dylan Jones. And speaking of the departure from one of those trades, Sadiq Bey and Jordan Poole, they're both going to New Orleans. As for Anthony Gill, he gets waived. So, in my opinion about all of this, free agency trades, I think in the worst one I can think of right now is the Boston Celtics, because they had to deal with the tax apron that's going on. Well, the second tax apron, because they had to cut so many players. I know there's some other teams that might be doing the same thing. I know the most boring team that are actually doing it is the Warriors and the Pacers, because they don't need to do anything else. As well as OKC, they're not doing anything as well either. Well, the Boston Celtics had to clear off cap space because they're all cap casualties. And there was a lot of talking about these free agencies that I actually listed out. There might be more next week, because the official date for free agency is literally just, this Sunday is the official tracker for free agency. There might be other stuff that's actually be going on, so Yeah, I'm actually gonna be looking at some other. I know, I know. It's just the fact that I have to look for more. And there might be some other stuff actually. They're also gonna be talking about. Oh yeah, some other stuff about the NBA free agency. Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, Quentin Grimes are still undecided on what team they're going to be playing for next week. I'm pretty sure that Jonathan Kuminga will most likely go to Miami. Damian Lillard and Chris Paul, I don't know where the hell these two are going to be going. Because other than that, we're just going to wait until next week. Because Sunday is the cap, there's a salary cap that's going to be there. But anything that Russell Westbrook is still available as well as Al Horford and Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, the last thing that I wanted to show you after I got nothing else to talk about is the fact that I was going on YouTube. I found this stupid ass video on YouTube. It's basically what's my god. Let me think. I'll show you. I'll show you right now. It's just, you know, hold up. I need to make it full screen. So, oh shoot, I forgot. I need to deactivate myself real quick and reactivate right here. So this is the last thing that I wanted to show you. It's this stupid video that I saw out of this. It's like, you know. So you ever heard of this big streamer known as Casio that does video games streaming on Twitch? One of the biggest Twitch streamers out there. Yeah, this YouTuber named AJ the Bold made that this with Casio. It's so fucking hilarious. I'm definitely telling you, it's fucking hilarious. So, yeah, you might as well need to watch this as well. So, I'm forcing everyone to please watch this as well. I'm about to play it soon, so you might gonna hear it. I apologize, but you know. I just need to hear it myself too. And okay, so let's play it.
Yo, what's up, Case? Damn! Bro, did you just break my floor? Alright, never mind that. Oh, I'm hungry?
Oh, he ain't like, I don't know how loud about him. I didn't see how do you actually break the floor. How you even see it? It's like, what the hell? How do you even break the floor like that? It should have just have the blocks. Like, should have like turned these grass blocks into dirt blocks. But it's whatever.
Oh, I'm hungry? I have a farm right here. Just don't take too many.
Of course, he is hungry, by the way. And oh my. Oh, he decided to kill all the chickens.
Farm, dog. Light snack! Dog, how you gonna cause world hunger in Minecraft?
Light snack, oh my god, the light snack.
Run! What are you waiting for?
Oh my god, he's about to eat that creeper. Just like he ate the whole chicken farm. Next, now he's about to eat the creeper itself too.
Honestly, that was a really good mining session. I just don't know why I keep on getting pulled towards you. Dog.
Oh my god. Hold up. How is that possible? Casio has a gravitational pull, and look at that zombie. It kind of reminds me of what the hell is that? It's just like, what? Let's continue. Okay, that was part 1, now we're in part 2. He's hungry.
Let's just focus on the fight. What happened to
the He just killed the dragon by eating the dragon. What the hell?
Did you eat the Ender Dragon? Bro, you low-key made me realize something. What if you eat other mobs?
Oh shit, all the other mobs would just be like, oh, the creeper exploded. Everyone else is just running away.
Sorry, bro. Case is gonna eat you now. Wait a second. Is bro praying? Queso, you got this man praying.
Are you like that zombie praying? Oh my god. They literally have the zombie praying.
Here, bro, we'll save you. Don't worry, and you ate him. Bro, we
can't find fat ass already eat that.
And your ass keeps on hogging it all. I'm done. I'm cutting you off. I'm not giving you no more food. Your ass needs a diet. And
oh my god, he is giant as hell. He probably eat a lot. Oh no.
What's that sound? It's Queso!
Oh my god, look at Queso. Oh my god, how is that possible? Hold up, how is that How is that possible? Oh, stupid Wawa commercial. Come on, are you done? Hold up, go back to the last part. Since that Wawa commercial. How is that possible? Having Queso just have his own gravitational to the entire fucking world in Minecraft. Right before I get interrupted by a fucking Wawa commercial. Is this even possible? Is this? I think there's some sort of mod. I want to try it out with that mod. But this is gonna be a hilarious mod. And well, that's something. That is literally something, boys, girls, whatever. Well, that's basically it for this edition of ARcast. Or ARC with me, Toon like me, and I'll see you guys later. Happy 4th of July. Bye!